I'm not going to continue to play this game with you. Mr. Castro, I'm not doing this again.
Sir.
Look at me.
Sir.
I have people that continue to come back over and over and over, and all they,
Sorry.
I want you to look at me, because this is going to be a life-changing moment for you right now. They keep coming back. They keep pleading guilty. They keep coming back. They keep pleading guilty. It's a revolving door. The door stops today. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you are unable
Sir.
to not pick up cases, then we are going to delve deep next time as to why it continues to happen. If that means putting you in a rehab facility, in a dual diagnosis residential facility for figuring out mentally why these things keep happening, then so be it. The door stops today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you understand, Mr. Castro? I know you well. And in the last 2 to 3 years, we're working at least since you and I have been together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 stops today. If you are unable to exercise self-control, we are going to dance a lot together next time. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hear me loud and hear me clear, Mr. Castro, because I'm not doing this again.
Yes, sir.
We will have issues next time. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I do. Yes.
You now stand charged with theft. Hey, how many is this anyways? Is the next one a felony regardless?
I don't believe so, Judge.
I believe there's a
Actually,
part that's Judge.
You run an NCIC for me, please, Morgan. Let's take a look to see. Because I want to advise him properly as to, you need to understand that every time you plead guilty to an offense, it goes on your record.
Yes, sir.
And when you pick up a certain type of offense consecutively and times, they can put it together and they can file a felony case on you, and you're looking at years instead of days. You now stand charged with theft. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. They've offered you 6 days in jail credit for the 2. Any prior thefts, Morgan?
no, Judge, I'm not seeing any.
You're giving up a lot of rights by entering into this agreement.
Yes, sir.
You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Mr. Castro,
Yes, sir.
I want the best thing for you, but it continues to happen. So somehow we're not getting through to you. And we need to get through to you so that you understand it's not okay to continue to pick up criminal cases. And in the few short years you and I have been together, we're now working 12 cases. This is not acceptable. What do we need to do to get it to stop?
Yes. But yes,
Shh.
I'm completely capable of these, and because it is so highly agreeable. So I'm on top of it myself as much as I would be able to. This place, it is interestingly confusing, but yes.
Well, let me tell you something. I have a couple people in here that have continued to come back. And what we have done is now have them in facilities trying to figure out why they cannot stop picking up criminal cases. I'm telling you, I've got probably about 4 or 5 individuals that have kept with me. You now are on my list. So heed this warning.
Yes.
Do you understand, Mr. Castro? How do you plead to the offense of theft? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, sir.
And we'll find you guilty. I will sentence you to the agreement. Good luck to you, sir. All right, Josh. All right, Mr. McCollum, good morning, sir. Number one, don't email me. That's not a good thing, man. Really, because I'm supposed to be neutral, detached. So I don't know what happens until if it goes to trial. So just,
I'll be there.
it's okay. But just from now on, all right? So you now stand charged. You picked up a terroristic threat of a family or a household member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you. I don't know what happened in this case. I'm just now seeing it for the first time. All I know is that you're on bond for this case, for another case, and now you picked up a new one. So let's go forward and.
Officers were dispatched to a residence in Harris County, Texas. Complaining witness showed officers text messages ranging from May 2024 to November 2024, where the defendant sent her photos of guns and threatened to shoot the complaining witness and their child. Defendant also stated he would shoot up her house and hoped that he would hit her and the child.
When is the statement that he was going to shoot up the house? Was that from May and that he's just investigating this? Because that's not a terroristic threat. But if it was an active thing where he was.
Well, it looks like the offense. So per the offense report, the actual offense took place on November 8th.
Okay.
But I believe that she showed them old text messages.
Okay, so when was that statement that I'm going to shoot up the house and yada, yada, yada? Sure, take your time.
And Judge, while they're looking, it's not alleged when the statement was. And not only that, it's not reported till 3 days later. Furthermore, in the reviewing the text messages that have been submitted, there's not a single text message that has that specific threat in it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's the state's burden to show, I don't know, but terroristic threat has to be an immediate fear of harm.
So I don't see an actual date. I personally have not reviewed the text messages in this case, Judge. I don't see a date of the actual threat.
That's not a good thing. I mean, who knows when that statement was made? Could have been made 2 years ago. Could have been made yesterday. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I mean, if you don't have anything else, then that's it. Okay, I'm going to find no probable cause. Mr. McCollum, we're not asking much, man. We want our streets to be safe. I'm going to do everything in my power to protect the streets, right? If I find that you're a problem, if they call back and it continues to happen, it's not going to go well. Life is way too short to live in a 6x9 box. There are a lot of great people in life. There's a lot of bad people in life. And if you have a relationship with a so-called person that brings out the worst in you, then don't have a relationship with this person. There's a gajillion and one fish in the sea. It's not worth it to have someone rap you so bad that you make and say things that make you go to jail. It's not worth it. Do you understand? Now, don't have contact with this person because it's just not going to end well. All right? All right. So I'm going to continue bond. I'm not going to revoke your bond on this case now because I'm finding no probable cause, but just behave. It's not hard. Be nice. All right. Okay.
Judge.
For sure.
Morning, Judge.
He speaks both English and Spanish, Judge, but he says he may feel a little more comfortable in Spanish.
I don't know if it's going to be a good Mr. Martinez. I'm not happy with you. I asked you one thing. I have here that you're tampering with your device. Any alcohol detected?
No alcohol detected, Judge.
What, do you know the?
Me?
But either, what,
So what he tells me in terms of the, I guess, potential tampering, he said was, the device was wet around his skin. So he used, in fact, he told me yesterday, he used a leaf blower to dry it off. That may have been one of the times it was tampering.
That would cause a tamper. Environmental factors like that don't cause something like that, and that would be such a short period of time. I have the durations of the hours on that little sticky note, and I can't remember them off the top of my head. But tampers are confirmed after 8 hours with no alcohol detected, so therefore a leaf blower would, if anything, it would show a spike in tamper, but nothing to cause a concern.
so what we have here and what I have here, your first tamper was on October 28th, and it was in an 11-hour tamper. So more than likely, what we find is that people put things in between the scram device and their ankle to subvert the machine. Your second violation that we have is on November 11th at 3 in the morning, and that one is a 9-hour tamper. How does that happen?
I have a solution.
So Judge, the only thing I have is the violation report. I don't have any other documentation from you guys showing exactly, well.
The problem is that there's only,
But in terms of saying that it was for 11 hours.
I have the scram report.
but, and if you want to take time to look at it, but what we find, it's really, there's no cameras, so it's impossible to really look at what they're exactly doing, but all we know is that they're breaking the continual skin and device contact. And how they're doing that, I wouldn't know. Only he knows. But all we know is that the tamper is for a duration because the contact is lost somehow. Piece of paper, could be that they're using a sock, however it may be. But all we know, it's for a certain duration and that it's a tamper and it remains constant for that entire period. So the machine is not able to detect his leg.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm happy to give you the device. You will stay with me now and take
I'd
a
like to
and
look
tell
at
me
it and talk
what-
about
Yes.
exactly what.
I mean, I'm not letting him go.
I understand.
Okay.
Okay, so. I'll
So
get that and then I'll-
we'll give you the info now. I'm taking you into custody right now. I'll let you talk. I don't want him to go outside.
I understand. I understand.
But I'll give you more than enough time to talk.
Sure, okay. Okay, we'll talk afterwards.
Yep.
All right. Sure, MAA.
Good morning. I wanted to bring you out because there's things I would like to address with you. I don't know if at the time we ordered her not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. Let me see. One of the things that I ordered you to do was not have any contact with a Ronnie Boo Slyman.
Yeah.
And I see now that you have picked up a continuous family violence felony case. You don't have to say anything. I'm just letting you know what's happening.
Okay.
Now, we asked you not to do several things, and you have now violated several conditions of our bond. One of those being, number one, we ordered you not to have any contact with this person, and allegedly you've picked up now a felony assault against this person. You picked up a felony violation of a bond condition or protective order, and you also have picked up a felony assault against a peace officer. Because of this, I'm going to now revoke the bond here that you have here, and I'm going to raise it up. I'm not going to give you a PR bond when you continue to violate conditions. I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my public at all costs. And I'm going to tell you now, there are certain people in this life, when they consume alcohol, they become funny people. They have fun, they laugh like little rainbows, gumdrops, gummy bears, and little bunnies jumping in the woods. And there are those, when they consume alcohol, they develop horns, they develop they become the antithesis of what a person should be. And if alcohol has this kind of effect, don't use, because that may very well be the source of all these issues. I don't know, but I'm taking a stab.
Judge,
And I hope not.
right.
But-
If I may, Judge, just to let the court know, since she's been on bond conditions, she did voluntarily check herself into treatment for alcohol. So as the court knows, that, you know, the road to recovery is long and bumpy. She's in a difficult situation, being that she's originally from Mongolia. Is that right?
No, Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan. I'm sorry, Kazakhstan. She had, you know, a pretty crazy story about getting here. This guy that the court told her to stay away from, you know, is like one of her only connections, and he's also done some inducement to get her back over there. I understand that it was ordered for her to stay away from him, but it makes it difficult when you don't really have a lot of people to rely on, and then you have someone who's trying to basically get you to hang out with them, even though they know that it's been ordered that she shouldn't. But I just want to let the court know that she is taking steps to try to better herself and her situation. It's just she's in a difficult spot between the addiction and lack of resources.
Even if that's the case, if you know that alcohol has this effect and it brings out the worst, then don't. You already have an open case. And you know, if you have no one to rely on in this world, if you go to jail, they're not going to bond you out, then you have to think of these things when you're out there. Because sometimes, you may have but 1/10 of a second to think, oh God, if I do this, what's going to happen? If I say this, what's going to happen? Now, where are we?
Can I say something?
Well, it's now, anything you tell me, it's going to go in this ear and it's going to go out that ear, because I know
I got you.
if I let you out, you're still going to do whatever you want to do. You don't care what we say. That's the problem. And when you come here and when we talk to you initially, we try to tell you, look, this is how we expect you to act. This is what we expect you to do. And when you do, and when you show up to court, and when you talk with Hunter, good things happen. Now, I'm telling you this for the future because I don't know what's going to happen from here on out. All I know is that you have very serious cases upstairs. And in the future, going forward, whatever may happen, whether it's a probation, whether it's this, think before you act. And if the source and the root of all evil is, no matter how bad the addiction is, if you don't, it only gets worse. It never gets better. And the older you get, the more difficult life becomes. You get older, bigger, fatter, you lose hair. Life doesn't get easier. And when you get more of this, so I hope that you take the help that is offered now, because we're going to offer you help, and we want the best to come out of you, right? We want the best for you. But you can't continue like this. So now, like I told Hunter, I am going to revoke your bond. I'm going to raise it up to 5,001. We'll come back in a couple weeks and see how we go forward. But I can't give you a PR bond when you pick up 3 felonies.
Judge, may I make argument for bond amount?
Sure.
She currently has bond amounts on her felonies that she can't afford. She's indigent. That's evidenced by the fact that I was appointed to her, and also given a little bit of her background, she's not only indigent, but she's has a lack of resources. Otherwise, I would ask the court to consider $250 bond.
Gotta love you, Hunter. Gotta love you.
Just taking
the
into
bond's at
account.
2,500 now, so that would mean lowering the bond. I'm going to set it at 5,001. We'll go forward. It looks like your felony case is set for February. You will go to felony court in February. Hopefully, you guys can wrap this up and try to get everything quick so you don't just sit there and linger.
Just ask for a speedy trial date on this case.
Absolutely. I have to give them at least 30 days for them to get all their stuff in preparation. Is it your case? Is it
It's actually Conrad's.
Conrad's? Yeah. Okay. I guess let's do this. Is he here? You want to talk to him?
Not by, but I can give him a call, maybe.
No, but I want to give him a head, or if you can give him a heads up that that's where we're at. I guess let's set it for early next week. Is discovery complete in the case? Wait till at least we have some discovery first.
I think it's all complete.
I think we're still waiting on body cam. Let me see there. Yeah, it looks like This looks like body cam was re-requested.
We don't even have body cam. Let's do this. Let's set it for next week, like late next week. See if we can get the body cam. If you can get it, and then we can get also Conrad to come approach, and then we can set it at that time if you want. Yeah?
Good, Judge.
All right. We wish you the best of luck, man. Take care. Mr. Williams, you are charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 9 days in jail with credit for the 19 days that you've done. I want you to understand that this behavior is just unacceptable, and I'm serious when I mean that here we're about accountability. And if I don't hold you accountable, I'm telling you it's okay, and that you can just continue to run amok and just and railroad. And it's not. We mean business. We're here to not only protect the community, but to teach you a lesson so that you understand that it can't continue, right? I don't know what happened over there. But when you're on bond, you can't pick up a felony case, and there are consequences, and I hope that you get it, right? The other thing that you need to get also now is that this will reflect as a conviction on your record. If you're ever in a car, I don't care where you are, I don't care what state you're in, you get pulled over and you have a smell of anything funky, they're going to probably take you in. They see that you have a prior DWI, if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck. So if I were you, I would never, ever get into a car, even if you've had a sip of alcohol, a toke off of a joint, you smell anything funky, I'm telling you, you're going to go down. And what we're doing today, from now on, you're facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. So like I'm saying, I'm doing this, believe it or not, to help you, because we want to see the best in you. We want the best from you. Be better, do better. You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses, testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal once you accept this agreement. You can never change this or undo this. It will go on your record. It will be there forever. I have to suspend your license. I am going to suspend it for 180 days. There is also a mandatory suspension, a DPS surcharge. I will waive that for you now. But I want you to understand that if you come back A second offense, you're looking at a minimum of $6,000 in fines and fees, not to mention another court cost of around $600 to $700. So you pick up another DWI, not only is a minimum 30 days, but you're looking at probably around $7,000 in fines and fees. Just one button on this phone, $30, wherever you want to go. And this don't matter where you want to go. That's what you need to do. How do you plead to the offense? Guilty or not guilty? I'll find you guilty. I will sentence you to it. You're going to walk out of here. You're not going to owe anything, but don't come back. All right. Thank you, counsel. All right, guys. Good luck. Yes, sir. Thanks. Yeah. You're charged with driving while your license is suspended. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or $2,000 fine.
The expired registration as of December 2023 and expired insurance as of November 2023. A traffic stop was initiated and the officer made contact with the driver, the defendant, and the defendant did not have a driver's license due to outstanding tickets. The defendant had 18 outstanding
18 warrants?
What I have, Your Honor.
I'm assuming it's still, have you run it lately? Mine-
Not.
Mr. Espinoza, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to drive any vehicle whatsoever for any reason until you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. You will be signing an affidavit. This is a promise that you're going to make to me that you're going to drive. I don't care what's going on in your life. I don't care if there's a burning building and you need to save 50 kittens. If you get into a car and drive, every time you do it, it's an offense in and of itself, punishable by up to 6 months in jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
This is the affidavit you're going to sign. I don't care if you have to work. I don't care if there's a baby being born. I don't care if Jesus needs a ride to church. Do not drive. I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, Mr. Espinoza? Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
I hired one.
Judge, Brian Levine signed out this morning.
Yeah. Oh,
I just saw the attorney this week.
okay. I guess let's do this. I'm going to have you swear to us you're not going to drive. I'll get you to Victoria, sign a reset, and then we'll have you take a seat while we wait for your lawyer to get here. Do not leave until he gets here and we have you sign a reset and excuse you. All right? Come on.
Judge, counsel is a.
Mr. Sosa, you're charged with interference with the duties of a public servant. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, sir.
On April 9th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, an officer was dispatched with a call for a suspicious person. The witness stated there was a Hispanic male at the back of the business causing a disturbance. The witness stated that the male was intoxicated and threatened an employee. The officer went to the back and noticed the male arguing with several people. The officer gave several verbal commands for the defendant to stop. The officer told the defendant to be going to be detained for safety. And the defendant continued to walk away and stated, it's always the Hispanic trying to get the Hispanic. The defendant refused all verbal orders given to him, and the officer retained the defendant and notified him by the Texas driver's license. The officer noticed that while detaining the defendant, the defendant continued to say why.
What did he do? How did he interfere with anything? I didn't hear anything. Hispanic on Hispanic injustice or what?
Additionally, Judge, do we know that this was being told to him in Spanish? He's clearly not English.
You losing?
Your Honor, the only thing I have is that the officer was recommended to continue to walk away.
He's walking while Hispanic or what? No, I'm going to find no probable cause. All right, sir. There are people, when they drink, they become very happy. They are the life of the party. And there are people who, when they consume alcohol, they become the devil incarnate. If this is you, it's probably not a good idea to drink. Now, I'm finding no probable cause in your case, but be careful. You know, we have enough violence in this place as it is. All right? Please, take a seat for me. You are Miss Murphy Smith.
Yes.
Ma'am, you're charged with theft. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am. Okay.
On September 29, 2023, a law enforcement officer was dispatched to a residence and made contact with the complaining witness. The complaining was stated that the defendant and her mother took items from her vehicle and would not return them. The complaining was stated that she had been contacted by a friend informing her of the theft and that the defendant had stated she was going to spend all of the complaining witness's money and max out her credit cards. The complaining witness inspected her vehicle and found her belongings missing. The law enforcement officer spoke with the defendant over the phone. Excuse me, ma'am. And the defendant admitted to take the items, return them when given the opportunity to do so. The approximate value of the items taken was $600.
Okay. Ms. Murphy Smith, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with the complaining witness, not to go where they live, and not to go near their car. These are your bond conditions. If you violate these conditions, a warrant for your arrest will be issued. You will go into custody. No more PR bonds. Do you understand, ma'am? Yes.
Yes, sir.
You have the ability to hire a lawyer, ma'am.
No.
We will have you fill out an application. I'll take a look to see whether you qualify. If you do, we'll provide your lawyer today. Deputy Miranda's going to give an application. I'm going to have you sign a reset with Victoria. We'll have you take a seat in the jury box and then don't leave until we release you, ma'am. Okay, please. Mr. Ramon, you are charged with theft. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
On April 9, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, an officer was dispatched to a theft at Target. The officer arrived and made contact with loss prevention employees who stated they observed two Hispanic females, later identified as the defendant and co-defendant. They were in the store selecting merchandise and placing items in a shopping cart, specifically concealing some of the items in a baby car seat while one was pushing the cart. While this defendant was adding merchandise to the shopping cart, she removed the price tags from selected items. Meanwhile, the co-defendant walked through the makeup department, selected 3 items, and placed them in the baby car seat, along with other items they had previously chosen. The co-defendant then proceeded to the jewelry department, where she selected a purse, and both females then moved towards the front of the store, approaching the cash registers without making any pay for the items in the car seat, and exited the store. Without attempting to pay for the merchandise in the shopping cart that the co-defendant was pushing. Positively identified from previous AFI smoke shop photos, and the total value of the items taken was $150.98. Okay.
It's Walmart?
Target, Your Honor.
Target. Mr. Ramon, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to go to any Target for any reason. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If I find that you do, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds for you. I am also ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact, hang out with, or be with Ms. Monsivais. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If I find that you're hanging out with her, likewise, you will end up in custody. If you don't have anyone to pony up $5,000 to $10,000 to get you out of jail, you will be stuck like Chuck in there until this case is over with. And I'm telling you, it'll take 9 months just to get, certain types of evidence. Do you understand? What do you do with yourself these days?
I stay home, taking care of my mom.
Did you graduate from high school? What are you going to do with the rest of your life, ma'am? If you need something to do, this is not the right way. That conviction will kill you because people know, you need something to do. When people have too much time on their hands, they become self-destructive, man. You need something to do, and now's the time for you to figure out what you're going to do with the rest of your life. You only have so much time. Before you know it, 5 years will pass. If you've done nothing, you're either going to, hanging out with the wrong crowd, you're reliant on a man. You need to be strong as a woman. Never rely on a man. Knowledge is power. We're going to work on that. Do you mind appointing her a lawyer? So what we're going to do now is I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. We'll have you take your seat in the jury box. I'm going to find you a lawyer here, and then we'll figure out how we're going to go forward. Don't become a danger to our community. Don't hang around with the wrong people. They're just going to bring you down. You understand, man? Okay, come on.
This way.
Over, 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 and over. Now on our fourth. You now stand charged with prosecution.
On April 9th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, an officer is conducting an undercover investigation and observed the defendant walking on the side of the street. The officer observed that the defendant was exposing part of her breast and made contact with the defendant. The defendant asked the officer if the officer was the police, to which the officer replied he was not. And the defendant gestured with her hands a 100, indicating her values. The officer, whose training experience, recognized this to be a tactic used by prostitution workers to mitigate verbal conversations because they're aware of police reporting tactics. The officer then whispered 100, 104. The officer gestured a closed fist, entering and exiting the officer's mouth to indicate oral sex. The defendant then nodded her head up and down to indicate a yes response. The defendant then told the officer to get a room at a nearby hotel. The officer stated the defendant gestured a 2 and 5 to indicate the price of the hotel. The officer left the scene and gave the predetermined bus signal, and the defendant was detained. The officer stated the defendant was positively identified using her FBI.
Okay. I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case, ma'am. Here's what we're going to do. I'm putting a monitor on your ankle now, and I'm forbidding you from going to any street from these cases that you've been on. If I find that you do, I'm going to revoke your bond, put you in jail, and I'm going to make your bond high. It stops today. Do you understand? The next thing that we're going to do, I will appoint you a lawyer, but it's time for you to get a real job, a 9 to 5 job, one where you actually work, get up, go to work for 8 hours, and then go home. I'm going to bring you back in 2 weeks, and I want to see what you have done to fill out a gajillion applications. If nothing gets done, it's not going to go well. Do you understand? But this stops on our 4th, no more. And if I find that you're engaging in any type of way, do you understand? So I'd like to look at all the streets for every single case that we've had here, and then we're going to forbid her from going to any of these streets. I want it to ding and a GPS monitor so that we know she's not going to any of these streets. And we'll go from there. I'm going to have you sign a receipt with Victoria, and then I'm going to have you take a seat in the jury box while we work out all the details, man. Please.
Purpose of the monitor other than the exclusions, did you want a curfew or anything?
Yeah, I guess so. Right. Yeah. Let's do a curfew so she's not out in the middle of the night.
7?
No, I mean, I don't want it to be restrictive like 9 to 6. Yeah. I don't want her going anywhere near any of the streets on any of those prior cases. No drugs, no alcohol, and must get a full-time job. Mr. Finley, you're charged with evading arrest or detention and unlawful carrying of a weapon. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Judge, I'd like to start out by prefacing that the unlawful carry is based on the defendant being under 21 years of age.
Okay.
And then I'll proceed with the.
Yeah.
On April 10, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, a law enforcement officer was dispatched to a disturbance with a weapon call. The 911 caller gave a description of an individual with a gun at an intersection. The law enforcement officers, upon arrival, found a defendant who matched the description in the intersection. The defendant looked at the law enforcement officers, marked the car, and ran from the law enforcement officers. Law enforcement officers then said to the defendant, "Police, stop," and the defendant disregarded the command and kept running. The defendant then ran into an apartment complex and met a dead end, then stopped running and was detained. The defendant.
So they saw the gun on him. They saw him with a gun.
Your Honor, I don't know that they saw him. It's after he was detained, they found the gun in his front right pocket.
What led them to him in the first place?
There was a 911 call. It seems the 911 caller did see the gun.
Okay.
And then the officers were dispatched.
Next to the description of this dude with the gun.
Yes, Your Honor.
So cops come, he takes off. Okay.
And then, he was detained after evading for approximately 100 yards. And then the law enforcement officers searched the defendant and found a pistol in the defendant's front right jacket pocket, a small bag of marijuana in the defendant's front right hand.
Okay, here's the problem. You're on felony probation. So I'm gonna find that there's sufficient probable cause, Mr. Finley. Let's do this. Do you mind appointing him a lawyer today? And then we'll have him talk to a lawyer. For now, you are not to use alcohol or dope, be in possession of a weapon. You're on felony probation where you're looking at 2 to 10 in the penitentiary. You're supposed to live life as if you have a halo above your head, Mr. Finley, because if not, you're looking at up to 10 years prison. You understand? What do you do with yourself these days? Do you work? Go to school?
Before that accident got arrested, I got fired.
What were you doing?
Warehouse job.
Okay. It's time to get back to the jobs. You need to get a job, and I am making that a condition of your bond as well. If I find that you're not working, just doing nothing all day, it's not going to go well for you. I'm going to test you like crazy. If I find that you're using, it's not going to go well. Do you understand? I'm giving you the opportunity now to not use, because I'm telling you, I will test you 45 days from today. And if you continue to use, it's not going to go well for you. Do you understand? So back again in 2 weeks and see about a job. And then, so for now, I'll have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. We'll have you take a seat in the jury box while we have you sign bond conditions. You will meet shortly here with pretrial for your bond conditions. All I want are my streets to be safe. You do anything to my streets. You understand me? Come on.
Your Honor, just to clarify.
I'm finding probable cause on both cases.
Both cases, yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Yeah, he's on felony probation, you know?
Yes, Your Honor.
You mind bringing up Miss Gibbs? Yes.
Council for reset?
Joseph, who you got?
Judge, I've got Benny Hernandez.
How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm not too great, but I'm managing. Judge, we can, this case, we could possibly do a plea on it today if we can do it all through the portal, if I can sign the documents through the portal.
I'm sure we can.
Okay.
Do you know what offer you're going to take?
The state's offered 15 months of probation.
Okay.
This is the second DWI.
Everything can be done through the portal. Do you have your guy's phone number so you can, talk to him outside?
Yes, I do. I believe he's in the courtroom right now.
Benny Hernandez, your lawyer's going to call you now. Step outside, talk to him about everything, and then when you come back in, we'll get it done. Please. Okay, Joseph, we'll get it written up and put in the portal for you.
Thank you. All right.
Sure thing. Okay, so Ms. Gibbs, the reason I'm bringing you out now is that your lawyer is asking for me to give you a PR bond on your failure to identify oneself. I don't know, I have to look at what's going on in your life to see, should we give you a PR bond? Are you a danger to the community? I mean,
Not at all, sir. Not at all. I'm a college graduate. I've got 4 kids I need to take care of. I have a job. I have a vehicle. I have no problem getting to court at all. Like this, the last 2 court dates that I had with my felony, I had a miscarriage and I was in the hospital, and they're aware of that.
Everybody tells me it's little bunnies jumping in the woods.
That's the only thing it was. It was I had a for real miscarriage.
I get it, but you're on bond for a felony endangering a child.
Mm-hmm.
You've picked up 2 fraudulent uses. And now, after those 3 cases, you've now picked up a 4th case of failure to identify oneself. So
They were all in this.
Stop.
Okay.
You have the right to remain silent. I just want to know what's going on to see whether we should give you a PR bond, because this is not a revolving door,
I understand that.
Yeah.
I apologize.
So we're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Okay, please.
Thank you. On April 2nd, 2025, the officer was monitoring a neighborhood police radio broadcast. The officer heard a broadcast call for the theft of the department store off of East Sam Houston Parkway in Harris County, Texas. The caller gave a description of the defendant and explained the defendant had just left the store. The officer arrived in the area and found the defendant as she was described by the caller, along with a male individual with the defendant. The officer observed the defendant and the individual enter into a motor vehicle and exit the parking lot. The officer observed the motor vehicle had no front license plate and expired registration. The officer conducted a traffic stop and made contact with the defendant. And the defendant identified themselves as Kathleen O'Brien, date of birth, May 24th, 1982. The defendant stated she did not have any ID card on her person. The officer looked up the defendant by the name and date of birth on the public safety photo, and they did not resemble the defendant. The officer asked for the name and date of birth of the defendant once again, and the defendant gave the same name and date of birth. Due to the photograph not matching, the officer attempted to confirm the defendant's name and date of birth with the mobile FIS. That returned the actual identity of the defendant as Candace Lynn Gibbs, date of birth July 16, 1981. Along with a Harris County Sheriff's Office mugshot of the defendant that matched the driver of the vehicle.
So they didn't charge her with a theft?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. Or they did not.
So what's going on with the 2 fraud cases that she has that shows like no bond?
Not sure.
Those cases, Lori?
No, sir. I know that she went to court on the 15th, 14th?
15th. Yes,
On the 15th on the, I received an email from her felony attorney stating that this was the only case that was holding her in and to see if I could move her up to get her out.
She said something that they weren't filed or they weren't, something hadn't been done where.
Yeah, she said they weren't filed yet.
They're filed. I guess the judge just hasn't signed it yet.
Your Honor, it looks like there was a plea offer made originally for the endangerment of a child. And that plea offer has been made now on the fraudulent use case. That was just, I believe, discussed between the felony prosecutor and the defense attorney.
In this case, Lori, in the fraudulent use case, in her clutch, as they pull them over, she has the identifying credit cards, debit cards of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 different items of other people's identifying information. You are on bond for endangering a child. You pick up 2 fraudulent use cases and now allegedly at a store doing whatever with a failure to ID. I'm not going to sit here and give you yet another PR bond. You know, at some point we have to say when, and now is that time. Your bond, literally $50 to get you out, right? But I can't sit here and continue to just perpetuate this thing over and over and over. All I want is my community to be safe, you know?
I understand that,
So
sir.
I'm going to find probable
In an
cause.
abusive relationship.
Don't say anything, but got to understand that. Right. Just, I'm not going to give her a PR bond, Lori. I'm sorry. All right. So, ma'am, what we'll do now, your felony cases are set for the 30th of April. We can set you for the day after and we'll go from there. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
That's what we said.